Hey guys, thanks for stopping by today. Let's go over what the tech landscape looks like for May this year. First off, we have a brand new feature on playtac.com, and that is to make your own board skins. So we've had piece skins for a couple years now, and just like when we kicked off this feature for the board skins, we're going to kick it off with a contest. Let me pull up an example here so you know what I'm talking about. So this is one that I was just messing around with the other day. These pieces are Gruppler's pieces from a few years ago. One of the finalists in that. I believe this may have taken the cake on that 3D contest. Can't quite remember if that skin took it or not. But just an example of something you could do if you wanted to play on a space themed board. So you could do something like this. I'll have other examples, and we'll have, of course, the templates for you guys to work with. And that'll be posted on the Discord. Let me get back to our list of events here. You can find this under the events tab if you're already logged into Playtac, or if you just go to the Playtac homepage, scroll down, you'll see those same events here. Come over here to details, and it'll pull up the info doc on this board skin contest. It's going to run the entire month of May, so opens up the 1st, closes the 31st. There's a Google form that you'll fill out to actually submit your submissions. So what I'm going to do for the winner this year is I'm going to try to replicate that virtual board that they design into a physical object and send it to them. Also, I'm going to feature that board skin on one of the commentary videos that I do. So some finals of some tournament coming up, I'll include it in that. As a little bonus prize, they'll get a USTA coin and a playtac.com sticker. Second and third place will also get a coin and a sticker, and I will feature their videos, but for a shorter length of time in something else. In tournament news, the February Intermediate tournament wrapped up with a Gruppler versus Cap 88 game. We can look at the standings here. And if you would like to see coverage of that game, I was able to comment on that live, so I'll put a card up in the corner here if you want to check that out. The Dragon Cup is ongoing. We can take a look at the standings for that. This bracket is not populated all the way. There were a couple games that got in, I think, yesterday and today that haven't been added. FaZe Space, I believe, won out over Vogopolis, so we'll face off against Abyss in the next round. And also, who else had a fight? Cap 88 and Rogue One. I believe the Rogue One is going to go up against Allion. And then Allion and Abyss, I believe, were the top two from last year. I'll have to double check that and get back to you. But regardless, they get a bye for this year's first round. Registration for the May beginner tournament will open up on the 1st, and then we'll kick that off. That's a great way to get your feet wet in the competitive world of TAC if you guys are interested in playing some human versus human games. The prizes for that tournament are going to be a Wolf and Hawk capstone set from World Builders Market, as well as a travel tack set that I designed. Casual chat and play events will continue to happen about twice a month. We are evaluating the time slots for those, so there's a feedback form on here that I would really like you guys to fill out. If you go to that, just takes you to a Google form, a few questions. Let us know if you're happy with the time slots, if you have suggestions for other time slots that would be more conducive to you, and if you have any opinions, comments, questions about how the thing is set up or how things have been going so far. In convention news, Gen Con is continuing to creep up on us. The registration opens for events on the 18th of this month, and I would advise you guys to get in early if you plan on going, because those events do fill up quickly. So I'm happy to announce that on the 23rd of last month, my book, The Hug Opening Supplement, was published. So that is available through Amazon. It's print on demand, so even if you're not in the US, it should be available from your country's Amazon shop. And so if you guys are interested in learning some about the hug or just want to support my channel, have a look at that book. Another resource that some people may not be aware of are some from Cap 88. If you would like a little more mathematical or detailed look at some of the shapes that form in TAC, He has started up some studies. I believe he has 4 or 5 of them now on basic topics. So this one in particular that I'm showing is on the Citadel formation, which is going to be this 2 by 2 square of stones. And so he goes into some depth on that particular shape, the benefits of it, drawbacks of it, things like that. I'll put a link down below for those that are interested in going into a little more depth in this. So lastly, let's talk a little bit about crafting and commissions. I finished the Celtic Knot capstone pair that I'm going to be giving away at Gen Con this year. If you would like to see a video of how those were made, I'll link that down below as well, or put a card in the corner, or both. And then there's all this stuff about tariffs, which affect the board game industry tremendously because most things are made in China, manufactured in China, shipped over, and then sold. So a lot of board game companies are not in a good place right now. I just heard news in April that Greater Than Games, who was a previous publisher of TAC, is shuttering part of their business and focusing only on the games that they already have. So development's going to slow down. New games are going to be harder to release because they'll be more expensive. And really, it's just going to be a slowdown in the industry as a whole. But silver lining of this is that print and play and online games are not going to be affected. So, Knock, one of the other USTA board members, has designed a one sheet print off page that has a tack board, and then you can get pieces. People use Legos. I mean, you can DIY it. You can watch some other videos, make them out of clay. Whatever you have, whatever you can find around the house, that will work. And then use that board, and you've got yourself a nice, cheap, tariff-free set. And Playtac.com has been and will continue to be free for anyone to use. You can play locally on it, and you can play with people from around the world. And if those options don't float your boat, shoot me a message, and we'll talk about a commission. All right, that wraps it up for this month. I am making this video about a week early, so if something pops in while I'm on vacation, I'll try and do an edit or at least a comment below, let you guys know that something came up that I missed. Thanks, guys.